I thought the night I bought those tickets would fix everything. It's funny how your brain keeps trying to bargain with reality. Like if you spend enough money, swallow enough disrespect, or stay calm long enough, the person you love will suddenly wake up and remember you're a human being. I didn't even realize I was doing it until she said it out loud. I'm taking him to the concert instead of you. He deserves it more. I didn't react the way she expected. No yelling, no panic, no pleading. I just felt something inside me go quiet, like a door shutting. Because the truth was, it wasn't really about the concert or the tickets. It was about what she'd been training me to accept for months. My name is Ethan. I'm 29, and I work in operations coordination for a regional distribution company. It's one of those jobs people never think about unless something goes wrong. Freight schedules, delays, vendor calls, warehouse shortages, inventory reports. I spend my days keeping chaos from turning into full-on disaster. It pays well. It has decent benefits. It's stable. And stability was the thing I thought I was building with my girlfriend, Mia. Mia was 26. She worked part-time at a trendy juice bar in the arts district, and she called herself a mixed media designer. That meant she painted sometimes, made digital posters sometimes, and spent a lot of time talking about creative energy without actually producing much. I didn't judge her for it. I believed in her. I believed that if I covered the boring parts of life, she could focus on creating the future we'd share. So I paid most of the rent, covered utilities, handled groceries, and quietly filled the gaps whenever she came up short. I didn't mind supporting her, not at first, because I thought it was temporary. I thought we were a team. But then there was Carter. Carter was Mia's best friend from college. He was 28, tall, loud, always smirking like every room belonged to him. He described himself as a creative entrepreneur. From what I could tell, his primary business model was showing up everywhere Mia was and letting other people pay for it. He started as a name in stories, then became a constant. I'd come home around 7:30 p.m. drained and hungry, thinking I'd finally get a quiet night. And there he'd be, shoes off, feet up, acting like he lived there. Mia would be laughing like she'd been waiting for him all day. "Oh, good, the corporate hero is home," Carter would say, grinning. "How was the grind today? Save the world with spreadsheets?" I'd force a polite smile and keep walking. I tried to be mature. I tried to be secure. I told myself it was harmless. But something about it didn't feel harmless. Because Carter never acted like a guest. He acted like a co-owner, and Mia let him. One night, I walked in and saw Carter holding my espresso mug, the one my dad gave me when I got promoted. He was stirring it with a spoon like it was his. He didn't even look up when I entered. Mia did. And instead of greeting me, she said, "Babe, don't be weird, okay? He's just grabbing a coffee." Like I was the one creating tension for noticing. Another time, I came home with groceries and found Carter pressed too close to her on the couch. When I stopped in the doorway, Mia just rolled her eyes. "Relax," she said. "He's telling me something funny." It didn't matter what I felt. It mattered that I didn't ruin the vibe. That was the pattern. Carter would take up space. Mia would treat it like it was normal. And if I reacted at all, even slightly, I became the villain. The first time I pushed back, it was after a brutal day at work. I still stopped at the store because Mia texted me, "Can you grab food? Carter might swing by." Carter might swing by like he was a weather report. I grabbed expensive steaks. I grabbed garlic bread. I grabbed a bottle of wine. I was trying. When I walked in, Carter was already there. Of course he was. He nodded at the grocery bags like he was approving my performance. "Damn, Ethan," he said. "Look at you, keeping the household fed, provider vibes." Mia laughed like it was cute. I cooked dinner. I plated everything. I poured the wine. We sat down and ate. For 10 minutes, it was fine. Then Carter started in. "I just can't imagine living like that," he said, waving his fork toward me. "Clocking in, clocking out, letting some company own your time. Doesn't it feel like you're trading your life away for a paycheck?" Mia's eyes lit up, like he'd said something profound. That's what I'm always saying, she added. The system is so soul-killing. I stared down at my plate. I wanted to keep the peace, but the exhaustion made me honest. It pays for the apartment you're eating in, I said. Carter blinked, then laughed. See, that's the thing, man. You're defensive. You tie your identity to the grind. Mia's smile vanished. Ethan, don't start. I looked up. Don't start? I repeated. He just called my entire life pathetic while eating the food I paid for. He didn't call you pathetic? She snapped. He's talking about society. You always take everything personally. It's embarrassing. That word landed hard. Embarrassing. Not Carter humiliating me at my own table. Me reacting. Carter leaned back, took a sip of wine, and smirked. Bro, it's just a conversation. Don't be so sensitive. I set my fork down. The room went quiet. Mia stood up like I'd embarrassed her. If you're going to be in a mood, go lie down, she said. Don't ruin dinner. I stared at her. She was defending him again, and I still stayed, because hope is a dangerous drug. I went to the bedroom. I heard them laughing a few minutes later. I lay in bed and stared at the ceiling, listening to my own heartbeat like it was warning me. I should have listened. Instead, I doubled down. Because if you're dating someone and you can't win their loyalty through respect, you start trying to win it through effort, through sacrifices, through gifts. You start thinking love is a negotiation. Mia's birthday was coming up. She'd been obsessed with a band called Neon Harbor, an indie synth group that blew up on TikTok and started touring arenas. She talked about them like their music had saved her life. They were coming to our city for one show. Tickets were basically gone. Resale prices were ridiculous. And I thought, if I do this, if I give her a perfect night, maybe she'll remember I'm the one who shows up for her. So I pulled strings. I called a client I'd worked with who had connections at the venue. I paid more than I should have. 2 floor-level VIP tickets, early entry, lounge access, a stupid amount of money for an experience I thought would become ours. When the confirmation email hit my inbox, I felt a rush of something I hadn't felt in months. Optimism. Like I was finally doing the thing that would shift the energy back toward us. I made a card, printed a fake ticket graphic, and waited to give it to her. 3 days before her birthday, I came home early. For once, Carter wasn't there. Mia was in the living room, painting something abstract and angry-looking. I handed her the envelope. "Happy early birthday," I said. She opened it, read it, and gasped. No way," she whispered. "Ethan, these are impossible to get." I smiled. "I wanted us to have a night that was just us," I said. "Something special." She threw her arms around me, tight, like she meant it. For the first time in what felt like forever, I felt chosen. She pulled back, eyes shining. This is the best gift anyone's ever given me. And for an hour, everything felt real again. She posted the mock ticket to her story, cropped so no one could steal it. She texted friends. She played one of Neon Harbor's songs and danced around the kitchen while I made dinner. We ate. We laughed. It felt like we were us. Then her phone buzzed. I watched her expression shift as she read the message. I already knew who it was before she said the name. "Carter," she said softly. My stomach tightened. "What now?" I asked. She bit her lip and looked down at the phone like it was a moral dilemma. He saw the post. He's upset. I waited. She didn't look at me. "He loves them too," she said. "You know that. We used to listen to their first stuff together. It's kind of our thing." I nodded slowly. "That sucks," I said carefully. But I couldn't get more tickets. I barely got 2. She stepped closer, eyes glossy like she was about to cry. "Ethan, he's not okay right now." I felt the tension rise in my chest. "Not okay how?" She exhaled like she'd been rehearsing the answer. "He's been depressed since his last project fell apart. He told me he feels like nothing matters. I'm scared he might do something stupid." I stared at her. I understood mental health. I took it seriously, but I also recognized manipulation when I saw it. Mia, I said, keeping my voice steady, these tickets are for your birthday. For us. I know, she whispered. Then she said it. But think about it. You like them, but you don't feel it the way we do. You're just going to stand there and enjoy the show. Carter actually connects to their music. This could be life-changing for him. I stood still, like if I moved, I might say something I couldn't take back. What are you saying? I asked. She inhaled deeply and lifted her chin. I think I should take Carter instead of you, she said. She said it like it was reasonable. Like it was a small adjustment. Like she was choosing between two friends, not choosing another man over her boyfriend. I stared at her, waiting for her to laugh, waiting for her to realize how insane it sounded and apologize. But she didn't. She just watched me, guarded, like she was prepared to fight. I felt my voice drop low. So let me get this straight, I said. I spent over $1,000 on your gift. I planned a night for us, and you want to take Carter. She rolled her eyes. God, Ethan, it's not a date. Why are you like this? Why are you like this? Like I was defective for feeling disrespected. It's about the music, she said. Carter and I have a bond. You don't get it. And I'm your boyfriend, I said. Doesn't that matter? Her jaw tightened. You bought them for my birthday, so they're my tickets. I should be able to choose who I take. Then she hit me with the final knife. If you really loved me, you'd want me to have the best experience. I stood there for a moment, letting it sink in. This wasn't about love. It was about control. She wanted me to pay, smile, and disappear. She wanted my support without my presence. She wanted me on standby. And in that moment, something inside me snapped cleanly, not violently, but permanently. Okay, I said. She blinked. Okay? She repeated, suspicious. Okay, I said again. Take him. Her face softened instantly, relieved. She stepped forward, wrapped her arms around me, and kissed my cheek. Thank you, babe. You're so mature. I knew you'd understand. I didn't say anything, because I wasn't understanding. I was done. The next 2 days were the most productive I'd been in years, running on cold clarity. I took a day off work. I toured apartments closer to my office, signed a lease that started immediately, paid the deposit without flinching. Then I called our landlord and told him I needed to terminate as soon as possible. He said I'd owe the next month. I agreed. I wasn't negotiating my freedom. Back at the apartment, I started packing. Not aggressively, not dramatically, quietly. The way you pack when you've already made peace with never coming back. Mia barely noticed. She saw boxes and assumed it was another one of my bursts of organization. I'm doing a clean out, I told her. I want to donate stuff. She nodded absently, typing on her phone. Probably Carter. The night before the concert, she walked past me while I was taping up a box and said, "You're seriously being so cool about this. Most guys would freak out." I smiled. Yeah, I said, most guys. The day of the concert, Mia spent 2 hours getting ready. She wore a black dress I'd bought her for our anniversary. She did her hair perfectly. She used the expensive perfume that she said was too special to waste on normal nights. And I watched her get ready like I was watching someone prepare to leave my life. At 6:15 p.m., a knock hit the door. Carter walked in like he owned the air in the room. He was wearing tight jeans, a vintage jacket, and sunglasses indoors. When he saw me, he grinned. "Yo, Ethan," he said. "Appreciate you, man. Seriously. Big move stepping aside?" Mia laughed. "Be nice," she said, but her tone was playful, not corrective. Carter didn't need to be nice. He was winning. Mia turned to him, smiling wide. "Do I look okay?" she asked. Not to me, to him. Carter looked her up and down dramatically. "Perfect," he said. "Like you belong backstage." Mia lit up, proud. I sat on the couch, calm, waiting. Before she left, Mia glanced at me like she suddenly remembered I existed. "You sure you're okay?" she asked. "I can bring you a shirt or something." I nodded. "I'm good," I said. "Have fun." She blew me a kiss like that made it okay. Then they walked out. I waited until I heard the elevator doors close. Then I stood up, pulled out my phone, and made one call. "You guys can come now," I said. 20 minutes later, the movers arrived. 3 guys, fast, efficient, no questions. They looked around and waited for instructions. "Everything that's mine goes," I said. They started immediately. Couch, gone. TV, gone. Dining table, gone. Bed frame, gone. Kitchen appliances I paid for, gone. I didn't take her clothes. I didn't touch her art supplies. I didn't even take her cheap little decorations. I just removed myself. And when you remove the foundation from under something, it collapses on its own. In 2 hours, the apartment looked like a place no one had ever lived. It didn't feel sad. It felt clean. I walked through one last time. Bathroom, empty. Kitchen, stripped. Living room, echoing. I took the key off my ring and set it on the counter. Then I wrote the note. Not a paragraph, not an argument. Just the truth, sharp and simple. "Mia Carter can have the tickets, and you can have the life you chose. Don't contact me." I left it on the counter beside the key. I locked the door behind me, and I didn't look back. That night, I ordered pizza in my new place and sat on the floor because I hadn't unpacked furniture yet. The silence felt strange at first. Then it felt like oxygen. I blocked her number, blocked Carter's, blocked mutual friends I knew would act like mediators, and I slept deeper than I had in months. I didn't find out what happened until 2 days later. My friend Ryan lived in the same building. He'd seen enough over the past year to know something was wrong between us, but I hadn't told him I was leaving. He called me Sunday afternoon. "Dude," he said the second I answered. "What did you do?" I sipped my coffee. "I moved out," I said. Ryan went quiet for a second. Then he exhaled, almost laughing. "Okay, so that's why there was screaming at 2 a.m. I didn't respond, because I could already picture it. Ryan kept going. "She came home dressed like she'd been to prom, and she opened the door and just froze. Then she started screaming like someone died. Carter was behind her, and he kept saying, 'What the hell, where's the TV?' I laughed once, short and dry. Of course he asked about the TV. Ryan lowered his voice like he was telling me a crime story. 'She tried to call you. Number blocked.' She cried in the hallway. Then she sat on the floor inside the apartment because there was nothing else to sit on." "Did she leave?" I asked. "Not right away," Ryan said. "But the landlord showed up the next morning because someone reported noise. He told her she had to get out. She kept saying she lived there. He told her the lease wasn't in her name and she wasn't allowed to stay." "And Carter?" I asked. Ryan snorted. "Carter started getting annoyed. Like he didn't sign up for this part. He kept saying, 'Come on, Mia, we'll figure it out,' but he looked pissed. Because when the money disappears, the magic disappears too." That was the first time I felt the smallest flicker of satisfaction. Not because she suffered, but because reality finally hit her. The weeks after were quiet. Not dramatic. Not messy. Just quiet. I kept waiting for the grief to show up, for the loneliness to punch me in the gut, for the memories to drag me back. But instead, I noticed something else. I had more money. Not a little more. A lot more. I hadn't realized how much of my income was bleeding into someone else's lifestyle until it stopped. No more covering her half of rent. No more paying for her grocery hauls. No more random expenses that somehow always became my responsibility. I checked my bank app one day and stared at the balance like it was wrong. It wasn't wrong. It was just mine again. I bought clothes that fit instead of settling. I upgraded my gym membership. I started cooking real meals for myself, not just throwing food together while she laughed with Carter on the couch. Work got easier too. Not because my job changed, because my life did. My boss even noticed. You seem more focused, she told me in my performance review. More present. A month later, I got a raise and a new title. And the whole time, I didn't miss Mia. I missed the idea of Mia, the version of her I kept paying for. About 6 weeks after the move, a mutual friend named Tessa asked if we could talk. I agreed, mostly out of curiosity. We met at a bar after work. Tessa looked uncomfortable, like she'd been assigned a job she didn't want. I already knew what it was. She took a sip of her drink and sighed. "You were right," she said. "About what?" I asked. "About Carter, about Mia, all of it." I didn't react. I just let her speak. "It's bad, Ethan," she said. "She's miserable. Carter doesn't have money. He never did. He's been crashing with roommates in some warehouse loft. Mia moved in with him because she couldn't qualify for an apartment on her own." I nodded slowly. "And?" I said. "And it's chaos," Tessa admitted. "Carter won't get a job. He says he can't because it disrupts his creative flow. Mia's been working extra shifts just to afford groceries. She's exhausted. She cries constantly. I felt nothing." Tessa leaned forward. "She misses you," she said. "She keeps talking about how she made a mistake." I stared at her. "Tessa," I said calmly. "She didn't make a mistake. She made a decision. She decided I was disposable." Tessa opened her mouth like she wanted to argue, then closed it. I stood up and dropped cash on the table. "I hope she learns," I said. "But she won't learn it from me." Then I left. 2 months after that, Mia found me anyway. I was grabbing coffee in the lobby of my office building, wearing a new jacket, feeling good, feeling light. And I heard her voice behind me. "Ethan." I turned around. She looked smaller than I remembered. Not physically, just deflated. Her hair was messy. Her eyes were tired. She wore a sweatshirt I'd seen 100 times, but it looked older now, worn down by stress. She stepped toward me like she was approaching something fragile. "You look good," she said. I nodded. "I am good," I said. She swallowed hard. "I just needed to talk to you." "We talked," I said, "in the kitchen. When you told me Carter deserved it more." Her face tightened. "I didn't mean it like that," she whispered. I was confused. He was in my head. I held her gaze. "You weren't confused," I said. "You were comfortable. You thought I would always stay no matter what you did." Tears welled in her eyes. "He didn't even stay," she said, voice shaking. "Carter. He left. He cheated on me with some girl from the bar. He told me I was ruining his energy because I kept asking him to help with rent." I didn't respond. She stepped closer. "Please," she said. "I'm sorry. I know I messed up. I know I hurt you. But we were together for 3 years. Doesn't that mean something?" "It meant I tried," I said. She flinched. Then she tried the old line, the one that used to work. "You're really going to throw everything away over one night?" I shook my head once. "It wasn't one night, Mia," I said. "It was every night you chose him over me. The concert was just the moment you said it out loud." She reached for my hand. I stepped back. "I have a meeting," I said. "Take care of yourself." Her voice cracked. "Ethan, please." I looked at her one last time. "I hope you find peace," I said, "but I'm not your peace anymore." Then I walked away. And I didn't feel guilty. I felt free. A few weeks later, I got a notification on LinkedIn. Mia had viewed my profile. Curiosity hit just for a second. But I didn't click. I didn't need to see her life. I already knew it, because I'd lived inside it long enough. Life moved on. I traveled for work. I started rebuilding habits I'd neglected. I dated casually, not seriously, because I learned the difference between wanting someone and needing them. Then, on my birthday, something happened that almost made me laugh. I was seeing someone new, a woman named Brooke. She's a civil engineer. She has her own apartment, her own schedule, and a calm confidence that doesn't require attention to survive. We went out to dinner. Nothing fancy, just good food and quiet conversation. After dessert, she handed me an envelope. I opened it. 2 tickets. Neon Harbor, she said with a smile. They're doing a reunion tour. I saw you listening to them and I figured you'd enjoy it. I stared at the tickets, stunned. Brooke tilted her head. Is that bad? She asked. If you don't want to go, it's fine. I just thought. I laughed softly, shaking my head. No, I said. It's perfect. She smiled, relieved. Good, she said. But I'm warning you. I don't know the lyrics. You might have to sing for both of us. I reached across the table and took her hand. I can handle that, I said. We went to the concert a week later. The music was loud. The crowd was electric. The lights washed the room in color. And halfway through one of the slow songs, I looked out at the sea of people and felt something I hadn't expected. Gratitude. Not because Mia suffered, not because karma struck, but because I escaped before my whole life became a sacrifice for someone who didn't respect me. And that was the real lesson. Love isn't proven by what you tolerate. It's proven by what you refuse to accept. I didn't lose a girlfriend that night. I got my life back. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this story, make sure to subscribe and hit the like button for more. And let me know in the comments what you would have done in my place.